So after 8 consecutive playoff wins from the Celtics at home, fellas, are the Celtics now the favorite heading into Game 2 with the 1-0 lead against the Cavs?
Jimmy, what do you think? He always does that to me. Jimmy, what do you think?
I think they are, but it doesn't really. I mean, I don't know what Vegas is thinking here because the Celtics have been underdogs. The Celtics have been underdogs since Game 1 of the series against the Sixers, and they've only lost 1 game in that span. So I'm starting to wonder if the storyline is changing here a little bit. The Celtics, I think locally, fans and maybe the media think that they are better than what the national perspective is on them.
There's no question.
And I think now it might sort of be coming around on everybody else that this team actually can freaking play.
Jimmy, when you start having the national guys pulling out stats like what is Al Horford's record against LeBron, 1-15, well now 2-15, that means they're struggling for storylines to support the Cavs.
Stat, but
that's a terrible stat pulled out. It is totally irrelevant.
Oh, it's irrelevant to this team for sure. It's irrelevant.
But the point that I'm making is that when you're pulling for storylines that hard, that means maybe there's some truth to it that the Celtics could be favorites in this series, at least from what the locals are saying, what we're saying, and I don't know what you're saying, Josue. What are you saying?
What am I saying about what?
Are they favorites?
I think they are favorites, and I think a lot of the time, especially from the national media's perspective, it's because LeBron is playing his best postseason of his career. I mean, he's averaging pretty much a triple-double.
Well, he was.
Or he was. I mean, his numbers must have gone down. But entering this series, I think that had a big reason or a big part to do with why he was the favorite. I mean, regardless of what the Celtics have been doing, it's always about LeBron.
But there's a point, to the national media, yes, but there's a point where LeBron has to do almost average a triple-double, put the team on top of on his back. That's when I start saying the Celtics can beat this team because they don't have anybody else that's chipping in.
Okay, but before Game 1, how was that doing for him? He was successful, right?
Well, Indiana took him to 7 games. Indiana had no business.
They won the
series. They had no
Well,
business.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. It's not so much about the Cavs, is it? I think it's more about the Celtics. It's always been about the Celtics.
Jimmy.
It's like LeBron can beat the Pacers. Yep. LeBron can beat the Wizards, whoever it may be. The Raptors, obviously, that's the team I was thinking.
What were they
forgetting?
What were you?
4-0. LeBronto. But when it comes to the Celtics, they have just proven now. I mean, yeah, the Bucks gave them a little trouble. They worked Philly. They are a team, and it's interesting because this is a league dominated by superstars. But I don't know, aside from Al Horford, if you've got any on the Celtics.
I don't know that Al Horford's a superstar.
I was going to say, and even him, he's an all-star. I wouldn't call him a superstar, but you could. He's playing like one now. He's playing like one now, and so are his teammates together. Are there like one big superstar
cohesive
team?
Unit.
Hasn't that been the story of Brad Stevens? I mean, dating back to his time at Butler. I mean, obviously it's NCAA.
No question. I mean,
you talk about a guy who can bring a group of a true team where everyone contributes, to a level of success that we've seen from the Celtics, and that's exactly what he's been able to do on the NBA stage.
And now, beyond Brad Stevens, you have Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, who are also on the sidelines helping Brad Stevens. Kyrie is game planning against Cleveland with what.
That's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Getting that information. But here's a question for you guys. Let's say the line comes out for Tuesday night's game.
I don't care about
and
lines.
the Celtics. The point is.
I know.
The point is, if the Celtics are favorites, whether it's game 2, 3, 4, 5, how does that change things on their end? Because they are kind of going under the assumption that it's them against the world. They're kind of banding together here and saying nobody believes in us, and they're using that as fuel. Can they still use that even if all of a sudden the narrative does change?
That's where Brad Stevens' coaching becomes so important because he can focus them back in. Al Horford can focus them back in. Brad mentioned to Aaron Baines as what a leader he's been on this team. Focus them back in. Yeah. They've been underdogs all season long, let's face it. What Vegas says doesn't matter. It's what the national media says.
I just think defensively, this team, the Celtics, just are so dialed in that they're not only challenging the Cavaliers to beat them from the perimeter, but they're pretty much telling the Cavs, who else besides LeBron James do you have who can put the ball on the floor and score, not just in bunches, but throughout the span of 2-3 quarters tops.
And I got to say one more thing.
The Celtics have a lot of guys that can do that, and the Cavs just simply don't.
I got to give credit to this guy because Sunday was the Mother's Day Massacre, Jimmy.
Mother's Day Massacre. I think I said. Did I say it in the series
preview?
Will be
remembered as that.
Did I say that in the series preview?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, Mother's
Day Massacre. We have a series
Mother's
preview coming.
Day
Did anybody notice that?
We have a game 2 preview coming. Yeah, but yeah, series preview. I said Celtics in 7. I might go Celtics in 3 now.
No, you had Celtics in
I think
6.
the Cavs don't even show up in game 4.
Are you serious? On that note.
Yes and no. Yep, on that note, tell us what you think in the comment section. CLNS Media, for Joseph Pavone, he is Jimmy Toscano, Nick Gelso. This has been the Garden Report.